Welcome the participants in the 2006 U.S. Open Squash Championships. Say hello first from France to Gregory Gaultier. His opponent from Egypt, number 1 in the world, Shabana. Have a good one.
Well, welcome to Boston. Here we are, and this is it, the final, the 2006 US Open Squash Championships, and it's a final which has got history between these two. It's world number 1, Shabana of Egypt, versus the world number 5. He's at his career high ranking, Gregory Gaultier of France.
Gregory Gaultier, warming up on the right, is 23. He's France's number 2 in squash, with a great future in the sport, perhaps even moving up to number 1 for his country. Gregory's best ranking on the PSA Tour to date is the number 5 spot that he holds this month. His rapid rush up the PSA ranking list this year can be credited to a string of impressive tournament results, starting in Toronto in January with the Canadian Squash Classic semifinal, a quarterfinal finish in the Canary Wharf event in London in February, the semifinal of the Tournament of Champions in New York in March, semifinal in Bermuda in April, Liverpool quarterfinal in May, and he won the European title in June. Gregory made the final of the English Open in August, the final of the World Open, and the British Open quarterfinal in September, and last month he won the Hungarian Open and made the Hong Kong Open quarterfinal. What a year. Gregory buzzed through his first round match in our tournament this week with Liam Kenny of Ireland, then defeated Wael El Hindi of Egypt in the second round, scored his first win ever against countrymate Terry Linko in their quarterfinal, and then defeated world number 2 David Palmer in the semifinals last night. Shabana opened the 2006 campaign on a distinct high. He won his second World Open title last December, and his excellent 2005 results moved him to a new career high in the rankings to start this year at number 2. However, it was not long into 2006 before the 25-year-old left-hander from Cairo vaulted into the number 1 spot in squash, which he's held since. He started his 2006 campaign with a couple of impressive January results, winning the Canadian Classic in Toronto, making the semifinal of the Windy City Open. Then he won the Tournament of Champions in New York in March and the Bermuda Open in April. Amar's best results in the latter part of this year have been victory at the Hong Kong Open and the semifinal of the World Open in September. Clearly, this very successful member of the dynamic Egyptian contingent in squash's top 50 will have lots to say about extending that number 1 ranking well into 2007. To make it to our final, Amar defeated countrymate Omar El Boralasi in the first round, Ong Beng Hee of Malaysia in the second round, Nick Matthew of England in the quarterfinal, and Rami Ashur in an exciting semifinal last night. The officials for this match: the marker will be Paul Ansdell, the referee Mike Riley.
Bit of an atmosphere here tonight. Round of applause for our officials. I think a few friends of our officials just trying to wind them up and giving them a round of applause. And well, we just saw on the screen that was Gregory Gaultier. 203 minutes he's played here, and good wins. Thierry Loncu, David Palmer, world number 2, world number 3. He's now got the world number 1. He'd have a good poker hand there. This is Shabana. The interesting thing is that's 202 minutes. There's only 1 minute difference between both players getting here, and you really feel as if they've both come to this match. They both had 3-1 victories. Sometimes you get finals where one of the players has had a 3-0, the other one has had a 3-2. In this one, it's pretty even Steven. With me for this final, I'm very pleased to say, Sheffield's own Nick Matthew. Welcome, Nick. We'll just turn the mic on. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. The comment, I think, I would just ask you, sometimes you see finals where one of the players has had a 3-2. In this situation, both players have had 3-1s. I'm not saying those matches were easy, but actually this final is a dead level final. There's no advantage for either player here.
Yeah, exactly. You're quite right in saying that a lot of major finals have been decided this year by whoever's got through with more in the tank, shall we say, and they are bang even coming into this match. And it's even though Shabana's number 1 in the world, it's very hard to pick a favourite. Greg's tremendously confident, and they seem to share victories between them the couple of times that I've seen them play, and we see now in the head-to-head.
Yeah, it's amazing how you call these, Nick, but there you go. Gregory is the only player that Amma has got a losing record to. He had a losing record to yourself, Nick, could you believe? But now that's level. So you've lost that mantle. You were sharing it with Greg, but here it is. Gaultier leads 3-2 in head-to-heads. Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me. I know that Shabana struggled with him on occasions. As you said before, Greg takes the game to him and did so. That was a tremendous win in the Al Aram World Open, then semi-final in front of Amir's home supporters, very fervent supporters, and if he can do it there, he's going to believe that he can do it here in Boston as well.
Well, good head-to-heads there. You can see the last one, 3-0 to Shabana in Hong Kong, a revenge for what happened at the World Open. And, a slide I always like to have a look at is looking at the last 10 events here. And this is always interesting because you really see how the past year's been. For Gaultier, it is the past year. We go back to November last year. And look at that. There's quite a few finals in there. 3 finals. Sorry, this is Shabana. And you can see there, Shabana's got an incredible record. He's won his last 8 finals that he's played in. And that's an incredible record, really, to say. Usually you'd 50-50 is obviously the average, but he is world number 1. But to win 8 finals in a row is quite incredible.
Yeah, he's the last year it's amazing to think, looking back there in 2005, right at the end, he was 4 or 5 in the world, and he seems to be number 1 for a really long time now. And considering how tight the top 10 is, and David Palmer's made a concerted effort to push up, the young players are coming through, and to win the tournaments back to back, especially playing the brand of squash that he does, which is very attacking and very entertaining. That's a tremendous testament to him.
Well, of course, you played Amma in his last major final here on this continent at the TOC final, and I remember talking to you afterwards. He was pretty unplayable that day, wasn't he?
Yeah, like you said, he tremendous record in finals, and he's going to probably go in just slightly the favourite tonight, even though Greg's going to be confident, and he's got every right to be. He's playing some fantastic squash this week, and looking at that record in finals, you just have to say that Amir was the very, very slight favourite.
Well, the Gaultier is not bad record. 3 finals in his last 5 tournaments. Will make that now 4 finals in 6. Here's Mike Riley and Paul Ansdell.
2006 US Open Squash Championships. Greg Gaultier, France, serving.
As you can see,
Shabana,
they're sitting in the front row. These are very comfy seats here. And off we go. The finals away. Nick, give us a call. What do you think? You've seen these two. You know these two very well.
Yeah, I think if I had to put my neck on the line, I'd say that Greg might be capable of causing a slight upset tonight. And that's me gritting my teeth saying that, because I wouldn't like to be. It wouldn't be a match that, not that I'm a betting man, but it wouldn't be a match that I put money on. I don't think this one, but I think Greg would be probably the better bet, because he's the one that you'd get the better odds on.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right, and of course, Gregory really took it to Amma in his backyard, literally. He lives a stone throw away from where the court was, and Gaultier was phenomenal on that day. I've never seen a crowd actually so silent after the end of the match. He totally silenced.
And out, 1-1.
It's interesting that it is totally level here. Both players come into this match. Neither have had grueling 3-2. In fact, on the way through, both players have had sort of comfortable matches all the way. And I think Amma's toughest match was against yourself, and even then, that was a 3-1.
Yeah, both players, it's beyond all expectations, probably not for them to get to the final, but to get to the final in this kind of shape. And they'll almost be disappointed in a way that having done that work themselves, that they're not meeting an opponent who's had to spend slightly longer on court, and that's credit to them both.
It's a very good point. Very good point indeed. Quite rare. Sorry, Nick.
I think it'd be interesting to see the tempo that the match in general is played at tonight, because we saw two contrasting semi-finals last night. We saw the fire and the pace, the quick hands and quick movement involved in the Shabana and the Shaw semi-final, compared to the very patient build-up, medium pace rallies in the Gaultier and Palmer semi-final. And I think we commented on that in the air that there was two contrasting semis as I've seen back to back, and it'd be interesting to see how the tempo carries on in this match.
A few people commenting to me this afternoon how it was amazing that both matches were in the same sport, and yet it was like chalk and cheese at the time over completely different matches. One was so attacking, and the other one was so tactical, and almost played at a three-quarter pace for most of the match. Gregory is happy to play length here. Is it a common tactic against Shabana that you want to keep him at the back of the court where he can be a little bit less dangerous?
Of course you do, yeah, but you can't go negative. The danger is doing that, and you go negative. You have to step up the court yourself and try and take him forward as much as you can, because moving side to side, a guy is not going to get as tired as moving front to back. It's a much longer way to go. It makes the court bigger and longer, and you have to take him in. You've got to look to win rallies rather than just contain him, and that's what you've seen there from Greg. He's never afraid to go short when he sees it at the right time. The danger is if you do go short at the wrong time against Amir, then he's counter-punching. He's fantastic, and he's got such quick hands and quick feet, so you're always on a fine line when you do decide to go in short.
Yeah. Pretty even stuff so far. Another player of you've been in a situation all the time, Nick, that early on you're just getting a bit used to the court, and those butterflies are just getting knocked out. I was quite amazed to hear that when Peter Nicol was saying that he still feels nervous first few points in a match, and it's good just to hit the ball very hard a few times just to get back into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you've quite seen a pattern emerge yet. Greg's getting the better of these early rallies. If anything, he's established a rhythm earlier than Amir. A couple of unforced errors we've seen from Amir.
Well, we've got some very bright trainers on court here. Greg's in bright yellow and Amir's in bright blue.
They'd almost be better off swapping shoes, actually. Greg's would go better with Amir's kit, and vice versa.
Greg not too happy with that. You just heard that. We've got a very sensitive microphone on court here, and of course we just need to resolve an issue. Yesterday there was a naughty little word said on court, which I'm sure if you watched the second semi-final last night, it's still actually on the replay. We didn't take it out in the end. There was a warning on there for any youngsters, of course. But just to clarify something, Mike Riley actually said he didn't hear it because we heard it crystal clear on our headphones, but we have a very sensitive mic on court. And there was a wall in the way, so David was a little bit lucky there, especially when David Selby got a conduct stroke for doing his shoelaces up in round one. Shabana, just looking at Shabana's face, he's very serious here. He's certainly taking his bet. He's normally quite a happy, smiley guy, even on court. But he obviously knows that Greg is a big threat here in this match. And there's been a feeling around a few knowledgeable people and yourself, Nick, that Greg could take this one.
Definitely, yeah. We saw the previous rally where Amir is at his most dangerous. He rallies patiently down the backhand wall. Hasn't got as many weapons on that side. And waits for the loose cross-court, and he pounced on the forehand volley. Being a left-hander, obviously, a right-hander has to be extra aware, because it's almost habit, if you like, to cross-court to that side, and he pounces on it better than anyone in the game.
Yes, you just got rid of one squash legend, left-hander Peter Nicol. Number 1, suddenly we've got another left-hander in there.
It should be outlawed, I think, shouldn't it? They tend to be that good.
Well, I suppose at the end of the day, it must be a slight disadvantage when you're playing somebody who's left-handed rather than right-handed. Is it ever in the back of your mind that on this particular shot, I'm playing somebody who's left-handed, so you may play a slightly different shot in different situations?
It's got to be. I think you see a lot more structured rallies to right-handers down the backhand wall. You don't see the same rallies down one side of the court when you've got guys with different hands playing, and that's what you're seeing here. There's no rallies up and down one wall, and that should make for fast open squash as Greg lets him go for his legs there.
And then plays a beautiful shot. And, well, here's the replay.
Hand out.
There's the one, through the legs,
7-4.
and then boast. Look at that. That's incredible. Makes that look a bit too easy. I think Greg played the shot of the tournament at the Tournament of Champions this year. He shot behind the back against Ricketts, and he hit a length shot with the racket behind his back. It was incredible.
That's a great pick up there and straight lob.
Yeah. That's your trademark Shabana shot there, wasn't it? Mid-court off the side.
We commented on it last night, and the biggest area Greg's improved in his game is his ability, I think, to vary the pace. He doesn't go flat out at one speed there. You see in each, not just in each game, he varies the pace. In each rally, you see he's upping it there, and he got onto the last post and hit a great floated straight lob. Didn't quite get that one, but real subtle change of pace there that you can spot.
Here's the replay, and we'll get a good view here of that shot. Look at that. Back to live. You sense both players starting to warm up a little now. They're starting to settle into the game. Just saw Hisham ashore a second ago. I'm pretty sure Rami's still around at the moment as well. Come to watch and support Amma in the final. Both players just happy to rally.
Go Gaultier.
Stroke to Gaultier.
It's not the same.
Huh?
Not the same.
Same. Well, look what I'm standing like. Look what I'm standing
Well,
No,
see
when you
this from
couldn't hit
above.
it, you were in his way.
Yeah, with 2 rackets, maybe.
Stroke to Gaultier.
And
Hand out.
that's a
8-5.
straightforward stroke, really, isn't it? There's nothing for him to complain about there. Or do you disagree?
No, it's just I think when Greg actually picked his racket up at that exact moment, if he'd have swung, then it was fair to say there was contact. I think
Go Gaultier.
that's a
Stroke
stroke as well.
9-5.
Shabana actually moved belatedly, and I think he was clear once Greg had already stopped there, judging by the replay.
Yeah.
Referees obviously don't get that second look like we do.
Well, I think it's something that is going to come very soon, as Shabana's just tinned.
10-5. Game ball.
Just lost his focus after that one perceived bad decision.
Just listen to... Well, he's just talking to himself, trying to get himself going. Probably too late for this game. It's 5 game balls here for Gregory Gaultier. He's only dropped 1 game in this tournament. And that's too good.
First game to Gaultier,
And,
11-5.
well, Amma didn't really make a big effort on that. He tends to do this sometimes, Amma, doesn't he? He's not a great fighter when he's 3 or 4 down and it's getting towards match ball. And he gave that one up there going cross court. And the first game goes to Gregory Gaultier. Well, we'll just have a quick look at a few more of our stats. We'll get these run through these. This is just the rankings going back to 99. You see that Gregory really only joined the PSA just at the beginning of 2000, and of course that period that Shabana's been, well, he was ranked in around the 40 mark during that time. But in recent years, and in fact let's bring this next graph up, which goes back for the last 4 years, you can just see how they've actually followed a very similar pattern, although Shabana's obviously dropped down deeper and he's been world number 1 for, well, it's the last 6 months, 6 or 7 months there. You can see Gaultier has had his career high ranking of 5 now. Quite a nice jump there, and that's thanks to that World Open runners-up spot, which obviously has given him a good chunk of points. And well, if truth be told, he had four match balls at 10-6, and well, it just didn't come off. We'll look at the past winners of this tournament. This is a slide I always like to see. We go back to '93, the Rolex US Open, where Rodney Isles of Australia took that to final. Peter Nicol beat Chris Walker in '94. John Shakan beating Simon Park. In fact, this has been a good event for Simon Park. 3 finals there in 5 years. Rodney Isles won it again in '96. And then, well, Powers had 5 finals in a row. '97, beating Simon Park, losing to Nicol in '98, losing to Simon Park '99, beating Simon Park again in 2000. He's been pretty busy, Parky, on this one, hasn't he, Nick? And 2002, it was a Nicol Power, one of the legendary Nicol Power matches. Although in that occasion, it wasn't so legendary. Peter won 3-0. Palmer beating Boswell in 2002, and then those are the last 3 years with Nicol and then Beechel the last 2. So there's 2 new players in this final. Completely new start, and
out. 1 love.
well, the thing is, there's no messing about for Amar Shabana here. He has to try and do something. His statistics at 2-0 down don't make good reading at all. So it's a key game here for Shabana. He's actually only won twice.
And out. 1-1.
When 2-0 down. Against James Wilstrop was one of them, actually, quite incredibly, in 2002, Hong Kong. So 1-1 here in game 2. And Amar is certainly a player that does thrive on confidence. Things aren't going his way, his head can go down. Another interesting fact, actually, if this does go to a 5th, Gregory Gaultier has got a very poor record in the 5th, and I think it's fair to say Greg's probably not the fittest player on the tour.
All good.
2 love.
Yeah, referee's calling that good.
2-1. Correction, sorry.
And
2-1.
you know, Greg does have a poor record when it gets to a 5th game.
That surprises me, actually, because he's a tough competitor, and you know, he never wants to lie down. I thought that he'd have at least a 50-50 record in the 5th, so
yeah,
something. Obviously, I think if you offered Amir the match to go to a 5th game at the moment, he might take it, but
Yeah.
that was a bit better. It was better length.
2-2.
Hit through that one, and he needs to establish that length before his trademark shots can come into play. Otherwise, if he's playing them when Greg's alongside him, Greg's quick enough to reach them, and see the error there.
And out. 3-2.
got a hi on the chat room from Marcelo and Sergio in Brazil. If you are watching this live, and I know there's going to be plenty of you, then do pop into the chat room. Come and say hello.
Greg's a big favourite from the guys in Brazil. Big shout out to Marcelo.
It's interesting to see there's a Brazilian player, Alacon, who was playing in the 1st round here. And good to see squash getting out to South American countries. We saw a Colombian at the TOC.
Yeah, Eric Galvez, Mexican as well, and yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, that's a lovely shot from Shabana. And here's the replay.
Hand out. 3-3.
Yeah, it's just a loose shot there from Gaultier, and well, Amar doesn't need asking twice.
Yes, let. 3-3.
Amar's hammer, as somebody said to me once. Yeah, it's going to be like darts. We'll have players walking around with candelabras in their hand and things like that. Shabana's got a bit more purpose here. He knows this is a key game for him to win. Oh.
Down.
Notice they didn't play it.
Hand out. 4-3.
Well, another mistake off Shabana's racket. He's made a few mistakes here.
I think he looks like he's snatching a bit when the opportunity comes, going for the shot that's a millimetre above the tin rather than working the ball in there. Whether he's worried about Greg's speed. Greg's one of the fastest players on the tour, without a shadow of a doubt, and maybe that's in the back of his of Shabana's mind when he's going for those low winners.
Well, for those of you watching, we will be doing a DVD pack from this event. Certainly the first semi-final and this match will be on that DVD pack, and we'll probably put the Assure Ricketts match on from round 2. It was a really quality match, and I know that a lot of you like to have that extra disc as well, showing the action from this camera here from above. One of the things a lot of club players say to me is they like to see the foot movement, which is probably one of the most important things on a court, how you get yourselves out of situations.
Greg's in control here. He's stretching Amir to the back of the court, and we commented on the pace of the game, and this is very much Gaultier's pace. The match is being played out at the minute.
Yeah.
Right side. 5-3.
Amir's
Right side.
almost playing a little bit more safety, but that's not his game. It's amazing how different this play here is from the first. This is quite strange. This is not the way that Amir Shabana likes to play squash, and you know the way he played against you in the TOC final, it was attack after attack, and you would he was really trying to survive in it.
Down.
And there's another mistake. Whenever he seems to try one of those shots, it doesn't come off. And Gregory's not having to do anything particularly special here, but he's 6-3 and 1-0 up. Oh, that's more like it from the Egyptian world #1.
Hand out. 4-6.
Wasn't the greatest of shots from Gaultier, really, was it? Shabana hardly had to move there, and there's another. That's a trademark Shabana shot.
5-6.
Yeah, there are outright winners, aren't they? The last two rallies. I think when he's at his best form, he constructs the opening and then he puts it in with the head speed that he gets and the quick hands. The last two have been outright winners. I think there's a possibility of the errors creeping in when that's the case.
6-all.
Bad bounce here in the
Right
corner.
side.
I think if he's persisting with that tactic, then it's very high risk. If it works, then fantastic. But we've seen also a few errors, and he's going to make sure